think this is where all of these characters are really tied together. They're all survivors, right? It's like the Hound is a survivor. He's been bullied for his entire life, and he's got the marks to show for it. And I feel that's where he feels for other people who have been mistreated, like Arya, like Sansa, that he's witnessed, you know what I mean? And he feels for him because he knows that, you know, and he smiles, even especially when they're like, you know, talking trash to him. He smiles because he respects that. You know what I mean? He knows that that's what you need to become to survive. Otherwise, you've seen what happened to the nice people. Remember when the family, the father and the daughter sliced their throats because they were dying? That's what happens when you're not a survivor, right? So he knows what's up.
It's one of those things, though, like you were talking about last week's show, I think, when you said, like, maybe Arya puts on Littlefinger's face and comes and talks to Cersei or whatever. Like, that would be amazing.
Right.
You know? And so it would just be kind of cool if we could see a faceless man situation, you know, this season, because we haven't seen one since she got back to Winterfell.
Right. And so, frankly, she could put on anyone's face, like a random golden cloak or any of that kind of stuff. Right.
I mean, she could use 3 or 4 different people that she's killed over the time period. Yeah, but like,
I really think that this sneak attack is coming up, you know?
I think so, too. I think that's how you get in to get close to Cersei. She's not going to put her head out there.
Right.
She's going to send everybody else around her to do the dirty work, you know? And that's just how she plays it.
Right.
That's why when we see Jaime leave, so to catch everybody back up, you know, obviously you guys have watched the episode. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you hadn't watched the episode. But Jaime and Brienne finally hook up. Kind of cock blocks Tormund a little bit.
Yep.
Tormund came brokenhearted. You know, he had to sleep
but he gets
with
his heart mended.
You know, he had to go sleep with some random. You know, but you know, he was feeling sad and everything. But the Brienne and Jaime bounce, and they've been, you know, taking a few back, and so one thing leads to another. They finally, you know, do the deed, and Jaime is going to stay in Winterfell with Brienne.
Right. And especially I thought that was a good spot, a good place for him to remain, because he can't be trusted to attack his sister from, you know, Jon or Dany's point of view. Yeah. So he needs to stay in Winterfell so he could be monitored and not be a liability.
Yeah.
You know, so I thought that makes perfect sense. That's where he needs to stay. Now he's got Brienne over there. They can be, you know, have their happily ever after.
And I would have been fine with that.
Right.
And I'm fine with the way that it went down.
Right.
He decided to leave after hearing about what happened.
Right.
That they killed Rhaegal in the
fleet.
You know, the battle. They destroyed all the ships. You know, they captured Dany's best friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so all of that just brings Jaime back to reality of like, look, I'm never going to have a happy life. Like, I need to get back to quote unquote Cersei.
And see, this is you know, the difference between TV and book. You know what I mean? They definitely made it very ambiguous to why he was coming back, making it seem like he's going back to Cersei. But he's definitely going back to kill Cersei.
Right.
Because there's no peace without her. You know what I mean? And not to mention, a couple of scenes beforehand, you had Bronn coming in there, and not real friendly like either, to both the Lannister boys and telling him that he wants Highgarden or he'll kill them both. Yeah. Right? As per Cersei.
Well, he didn't necessarily say Highgarden. Tyrion offered that up.
Right.
Saying, you know what, we'll give you Highgarden. What's better than River Run? Highgarden.
Right.
I love Bronn, man.
I love Bronn too. And I like that, you know, this is so Bronn. Like, he's still the cutthroat. You know what I mean? It's like, even though he's been a friendly guy,
he's going to play this part the whole time.
Oh yeah. Even though he's been a friendly guy, you know, the loyal henchman for the entire time, it's like a better offer's coming. He's looking out for number one.
Right.
It's just his game. No way can he actually hold a castle like that. You know what I mean?
Probably not.
Because you need so much pull, you know?
Yeah.
You need support from all kinds of places, and either you need to have a ton of gold, which he can get in a short amount of time, but then after that, what are you going to do? So, like, for him, Bronn's death is coming up soon, too. Or retirement in some way where he sides on the right side again. But, yeah, it's so funny. Jamie, leaves, Brienne's crying, and, I did this for Cersei, I did that for Cersei, now I'm going to Cersei.
Right.
And you're like, what?
Yeah,
but
no, he's going to kill her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the Valonqar prophecy coming through, finally.
So then the last part, the last things that we see are Jon.
Interactions with Dany.
Yeah, well, you have Jon and Sam and Jon and Tormund basically saying goodbye. Ghost survived.
Yep.
I was
a little
happy
scrappy
to see that.
looking, ears missing and stuff.
I was happy to see it though. So Ghost survives. He's going to go to the north with Tormund. I was shocked that Tormund wasn't coming south.
See, what I'm a little surprised with is why wouldn't Jon give Ghost to Bran? It's like, why can't you be Bran's loyal protector? It's like you're fine to roam around Winterfell, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a nice thing for Bran to have.
Yeah, and then he could warg into Ghost if he needed to. That would have been a good idea.
Yeah,
but
I think
we have more to play. There's more happening.
You mean like those guys that said goodbye are coming back? Yeah, and
or something is going to happen up north because we still have all those night babies. Why are they making night babies? From Caster's Keep, like all those babies. Like, what happened to those guys?
Right.
Like, do they
was
just
this
all
the
die
full
too?
force?
Yeah.
Or?
Like, I'm wondering. Like,
although, did you see
is
the
there
intro?
more powers? Did it stop?
There wasn't. I didn't see the army of the dead in the intro.
It was there. It just stopped at the gates of Winterfell.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it was there. But it brings me back to the Jon and Sam interaction at the end there. Brought me back to what I think is going to be the last scene of Game of Thrones. And that's going to be Sam sitting at a desk writing this book like a maester would do. And the last things that we're going to see is how it ends in Sam's handwriting, and then the title, A Song of Ice and Fire, and then by Samuel Tarly. That's what is going to happen at the end of this series, right. I think.
I think that would be a perfect
I think so too.
Satisfying ending.
I think that would satisfy the book readers and the show watchers.
Right.
Because the way that George R.R. writes it is similar to like what we would read, especially if you read all the history ones. They're straight like a textbook from a maester.
Yeah. Well, they weren't written as the maester point of view kind of thing.
And then, but even as, what we see from George's writing in general, from the point of view of this one character, this is how this chapter breaks down. I think that leads me to think that it's coming from Sam,
Right.
And I think that would be cool.
I think it would be cool, too. Talking about an unsung hero, Pat, Euron has been the best fighter in this entire series. He single-handedly has handed Cersei the upper hand.
Yeah.
Every single time he shows up, he's been destroying everything. Like, he's destroyed the Greyjoy, the Martell, and the Highgarden fleets. Yep. Then now he killed a dragon. And first of all, that was very disappointing. Like, the dragon gets hit 3 times. You guys must be freaking awesome at aiming, but fine. Like, the dragon goes down. Why is there no counterattack?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, why isn't she swooping around behind, lighting him on fire, or, like, lying low till it's dark so nobody can see him? And, like...
Just following him.
Yeah, there's all this, like, Dany kind of, like, fire in her eyes, and then nothing happens. I thought that was quite disappointing.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it was just the shock of, Regale going down. It surprised the hell out of me.
Surprised me.
Like, I thought the show was almost over. Like, the episode was almost over. This is how it's going to end. I didn't have my watch on or anything. Like, I wasn't looking at there was still, 20 minutes left in the episode. But I was just like, this is how it's going to end. There'll be its, Dragonstone, and, we'll start up from there. The battle will start next week. And that's about what I expected from this episode. And then all of a sudden, right in the heart. Right in the heart, and then right through the neck, and I was like, "Damn!" And I was just shocked, and I was just like, well, now we're not going to see Jon ride another dragon.
Especially after, last week we were talking about how many dragons survived. And they lead you to believe, one survived, because you don't see the second one.
Right.
It's like, they're both around.
Yeah.
And then they kill him off right after. It's like,
crazy.
Ew.
Yeah. And so, we get to, of course, Grey Worm and Missandei, like, holding hands and, being all happy. And then she ends up being a captive of Cersei, and you knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yep.
Like,
you know what the other thing is? I wish she would have just jumped down. Not giving him the pleasure of cutting off her head.
Yeah. But it was funny. I leaned over and I'm like, she's going to say Dracarys. And that's exactly what, it was just fitting,
I thought she would have said Valar Morghulis.
Oh, that would have been cool, too. But I actually thought when she yelled it, I thought Drogon was going to raise
I thought
up,
something was going to happen.
And so that part was interesting to me, is that Drogon just stayed in the back. And it was also interesting that Dany even brought Drogon to the battle. And this gets back... See, we got back to it. This gets back to the Dothraki. They only had Unsullied left.
Right.
In that little mini battle that we saw at the end.
But who was riding... The thing is...
Is Jon coming down?
Dothraki would probably be preferred
on horses
to...
rather than on the water. So we might still see Dothraki come next week. Yeah,
but you have this battle looming here. Jon should be coming in a while. Dany seems very angry, and this is exactly what you don't want to happen. You don't want people being angry, rushing into battle. Right. You want people being cool-headed and having a proper plan. And this is exactly what the whole thing was about. The whole thing of having her there and assassinating her in front of everybody. And Dany just looks... She doesn't look good. She doesn't have much of a force there to show anyways. Like, if they charged out, they could have killed her right there.
They really could have,
yeah. I like the little combo between Qyburn and Tyrion, and Tyrion good. Walking up to the wall. I thought that was cool. Yeah. Tyrion earns everybody's respect there. Mm-hmm. But they've got to come up with a decent plan here, and actually utilize the dragon, not have him just come flat out. The dragon should be coming around for the next couple of weeks or something and just lighting the city up on fire. And you know what? It is past time to give a fuck about all the little people. You know what I mean? It's like nobody should be around the walls, light the walls on fire, burn down the scorpions, and just you got to do something to make them fear you.
Right.
So... I don't know. They seem very ready. It should be an epic battle. But with one dragon remaining now, that dragon better be used in a cleverer way than it has been previously.
I still think Wildfire is going to
I think
play a
Wildfire
part,
is going to
especially now that she brought all those people into the Red Keep.
Right.
If it gets to a point... Well, if it gets to a point to where she knows she's going to lose or she knows she's going to die, is it really putting it past Cersei to be like... Burn it all down. Burn the whole keep down. Fuck everybody here.
Right. Not at all. But I thought that she seems like she's playing better D as the game goes on. But I would have thought that's what she would have done before. But now I'm thinking what's the point? Yeah. It's like she's got the upper hand. She's just getting stronger.
Yeah.
Now, however, in the show, the people with the upper hand typically don't do as well.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So there is that. Usually, those guys are the bad guys.
Well, they always, they always have this aura of invincibility, right?
Right.
Just because they have the upper hand on something. All right, man. Let's get
Making it too easy.
Let's get into next week. Who do we think is going to die? Because this is directed by the same guy that directed episode 3, who also did The Wall, did the Battle of the Bastards. This is their battle director.
This is the battle director?
Yeah, this is their battle director. And this is his last episode on Game of Thrones. He's coming hard.
He's going to come real hard.
He is.
Okay. Okay, well, first of all, is Yara coming around? Is Yara finally going to show up?
I think we will see her because we did see a preview of Euron on the boats. Mm-hmm. And he was looking up into the clouds. I think that's a tease of they want us to think it's Drogon. I don't think it's Drogon. I think it's going to be Yara coming with more ships.
Right.
And you're going to have a cool little sea battle.
I think Yara's going to come by. I would not